Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me for another process video. Today's layout is for the Hip Kit Club, and this is another layout using the 2016 January Hip Kits. And I've already got an idea of what I want to do here. I'm going to use white cardstock as my background, and I'm going to use a lot of the crepe paper tags, wood veneer, and papers here. And I'm going to be scrapping these two pictures of my daughter around Valentine's Day a few years ago, and I printed them in black and white, and I love how the stripes in her shirt are mimicked by that black and white striped paper, and so I added a strip of that, and I want to use a lot of this really pretty polka dot paper here. I love the soft pinks and the aqua colors in it, and so I'm going to use that as a big chunk of the background here, and I'm going to work from that. And my paper trimmer blade is getting kind of dull, and so whenever it cuts my paper, I get some jagged edges there, so I wanted to clean those up a little bit. And so I'm going to go ahead and stick this down because that's the base that I want to work with. And I am going to add a little bit of mixed media to this here in just a minute. I'm going to start with some white gesso because I want to blend out some of the dots and the stripes, not too much. But I just want to make it a little, you know, faded looking here and there. But you can still see the dots and the stripes. And this is also going to give my ink and paint a little bit of, you know, a little place to go without it seeping right through the paper. And it's also going to give it some texture. And this is nothing fancy. I just use my fingers and an old gift card to smudge that gesso around. Alright, so this is some of my Shimmers spray from my stash. It's one of the colorings. And I'm just using the ever popular packaging technique here just to get some teal. I wanted to add more teal, and this is going to look like a lot, but it's going to be a small amount once I put all of the photos and the tags and all the embellishments down. You won't even really be able to see a lot of this teal area, but I keep adding it, and I keep drying it, and then I put my pictures on top of it to see what you can see behind it, and then I keep adding more just to make sure. See, like already right there you can barely even see what I did, and so I do come back and forth and add more as I go. And I really love this XOXO paper. And the whole back of that sheet is filled with X's and O's, so you could fussy cut them all day long and probably never run out of them. And so I'm going to cut out two XOs here, and I'm going to use that as an embellishment above the pictures. Now, I wanted to do some hand stitching, and I wanted to create a big heart. So I just take my pencil and kind of hand draw a big heart, and it's going to go around my pictures, and it's very messy and very hand drawn, so it's nothing special. And I took my black thread and my sewing machine and just very messily stitched there, and you can see it is definitely not straight, and that's fine with me. I wanted it to be kind of messy. So I'm going to come back in and add more of the spray, and I didn't necessarily want it to be inside the heart, you know, so it's going to go above the heart, and it's going to go outside of both sides of the heart. And because I decided that some of my embellishments are going to go up above the heart. And this is one of the perks of doing mixed media messy stuff like this is, you know, it's supposed to look messy, and there's no right or wrong way to do it. You can add as much as you want, and I found that if you add too much, just take some white acrylic paint or some gesso and just kind of cover it up and go from there. And that's worked for me in the past. But, you know, start with a little bit and then see what it looks like. And then you can always add more if you need it. So I'm going to use that cute little pink and white and glittery gold tag on the left. And I'm going to use that wood veneer with the two hearts. And then this other little pink heart on the right, and that also came in the tags in the crepe paper Hello Love collection. So I'm going to glue the X's and O's down, and I wanted them to be kind of crooked, well, not really crooked, but not completely stacked, kind of to be a little bit off center there. And here I go again, more green, It looks like so much, but when you add everything on top of it, you really don't see a lot of it. The more I did it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, I think I've gone overboard here with the teal here. But once I add everything down, it's actually not a lot at all. So I'm going to do something else that I love to do, and I'm sure if you watch my videos, you know that I tend to do this on every layout, and that is add just random cheap tissue paper behind my pictures. I usually print mine out with a white border around the picture itself, and usually I'll add paper layers behind it, but in this case I'm just going to add the tissue paper because I don't feel like it really needed anything else with all the embellishments that I'm going to add. And I just like the look of the tissue paper, and you can see it a lot better, you know, in person, because it's you know, you can see through it. It's not something that's meant to really stand out, but it does add some texture, and it raises it up a little bit to give it some dimension. And it just kind of adds another little messy factor to it because it's not folded perfectly straight. And I'm going to raise the photo on the left up with some foam, and then I'm going to glue the other one straight down on the page. And so they're a little bit different heights. And I'm just going to kind of build all of my embellishments around that. And I'm going to add a pop dot to that heart because I want it to kind of be raised up since the photo on the right is flat. And then I'm going to go through this little sticker sheet here, and I'm going to add several little things here and there. And, you know, I wanted this to be a Valentine layout because she was wearing one of her cute little Valentine shirts, and I think this was the day after Valentine's Day because they had like 4 different Valentine shirts. So they wore a different one to school each day. And so I had to take pictures of them each day in a different shirt because, you know, that's what scrapbookers do, right? We have to document each of the shirts. And so that little sticker at the top, it says it actually was part of a Happy Valentine's Day, but I just cut off the apostrophe S and used Valentine. Now I want to jazz up this wood veneer, and so I'm just going to use the same Shimmers product from my stash there and just use the little nozzle to paint on the big heart on the side there. And I didn't add anything to this in the beginning. I didn't add any of the gesso. Now this gold texture paste came in the color kit this month, and I'm just going to squeeze it on and smush it down with my finger onto this solid heart. And this actually turned out really well. When it dries, it's very sparkly and shiny and very pretty. Add a little bit of gelato here just to kind of darken it a little bit. And that's going to be the extent of what I do to that wood veneer. I do zap it with the heat gun for just a minute. I wanted the gold heart to look kind of textury and kind of messy because, you know, that's texture paste. And so I wanted it to look a little bit bumpy. And it worked really, really well. And when it's fully dry, it looks fantastic. So this is one of the little vellum words that comes in one of the kits, and I'm going to use that right up there at the top. And then I'm going to do my favorite thread technique and stick some underneath the corners of my picture. And that's just black thread from my sewing machine. And actually, a few days ago, I did a tutorial on my channel of how I loop my thread here. A lot of you asked me to do that in slow motion or real time, and so I did. So if you're still interested in watching that, it's a couple videos back. I do add some gold floss. It's a little bit thicker than my machine stitching thread. I tie a little bow into the top of that tag. And I'm liking how this is turning out. I'm loving the little pops of teal. And you can see now that I've got all of these things. Oh, hello head. Ugh, scary. I have a hair appointment tomorrow. Yay. You can see now that I've added the photos and the tag and the wood veneer that a lot of that ink in the background, you know, a lot of it's covered up. So take that into consideration when you're trying your mixed media, that even though it looks like way too much on your page, once you start adding everything on top of it, it changes the whole landscape of the page. And so, you know, keep that in mind. So I'm going to glue everything down. I added a couple of little gold glitter hearts, and that's from that crepe paper sticker pack right there, or sticker sheet. There's a lot of little hearts. It's really hard to just, I wanted to just grab all of them and stick them somewhere, but you know, you have to restrain yourself from using the entire sticker sheet on one layout. I really wanted to do that, but I'm going to save it for the next layout. And I'm just adding some little doodads, more stickers, little arrows, little hearts. It's a little chipboard piece. Another arrow. Another heart. Hearts and arrows. You gotta have hearts, arrows, and X's and O's on a Valentine's layout, right? And then I've been waiting to use these. These are the Heidi Swap. They're teal glitter puffy letters. And let me tell you, I love the quality of these. They stick very, very well. I love the font, and I love how they connect with each other. And so it just looks like you wrote it in cursive. Awesome, awesome. And I just decided to write the word darling because I already had the word Valentine up there. And so that word just sort of popped into my head. And so I thought, well, let's just make that word. Now, I hadn't used these yet. These come in one of the kits. And those are those little clear acrylic circles. And they're a very, very light teal. They are gorgeous, gorgeous. And I just added those around the page just to add a couple more little random circle elements here and there. And I'm going to add one of the My Mind's Eye brads to that hole in that pink heart because it was bothering me because there's a hole in that heart. And I didn't want a hole in the heart. So I added the brad. Now this took me a while to dig through all these little Studio Calico wood veneer letters. And I'm going to spell out the word Valentine. So it's going to say Darling Valentine at the bottom. And I didn't do anything to these letters. I just left them the raw wood like they come. And here I'm just showing you the sparkle and shimmer of all the glitter and that pretty heart from the Heidi Swap texture paste. And we're almost to the end here. I'm just going to add a little bit of journaling, and I'm just going to write it down here at the bottom. And we've always called Paige our Valentine girl because she was born on February 5th. So I'm going to add my date stamp and then some black splatters, and that's going to wrap it up, I believe. So stay tuned for the close-up final photos here in just a second. There it is. I hope you like this page. I had fun making it. I always love doing girly Valentine type pages because I have two girls and this kit is perfect for Valentine's Day. So let me know if you have any questions about anything that I did or any of the techniques, any of the products. I would be more than happy to answer. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.